What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of Dubai season 1 episode 4 episode. So this episode was mainly all about Lisa's runway show. This is her first runway show for her company. Remember, she has the maternity brand, like couture maternity clothes. And it's her first time having a runway show. And she said that they're also expanding the brand. They're doing ready to wear, because she says even though the company has been doing okay, you know, with the maternity, she said the problem with that is we don't get a lot of return customers. So if we do, it's like 2 or 3 years later, because, I mean, people don't, you know, you get pregnant, it's going to be a couple of years before you get pregnant again. And so they are doing a ready to wear. And that's going to be like the big launch at the fashion show. And we find out that her husband financed the company, and he basically told her, listen, I believe in you. I don't necessarily believe in this. Like, I don't know if this is a great concept. I don't know if this concept is going to work, but I do believe in you. And that's why I'm financing it. And so she said it's basically a lot of pressure on her to make the show a success. Now, we see that Chanel is helping her with her model search for the runway show. We find out that Chanel has a modeling agency, so that's another way that she's making money, as well as being a model herself. The thing that I walked away from in this episode is that, and I said this on the first episode, that unlike some of these other reality shows where they try to create friendships, which is why a lot of times the friendships fall apart so easily, is because the friendships are manufactured. These women have legitimate relationships, good, bad, or indifferent, right? The people that like each other, they really like each other. So we see this in here with Chanel and Lisa are really friends for real. And Chanel walks through this process with her from beginning to end. Even at the end of the episode at the runway show, she is backstage. She is helping with the models. She is getting them out there. She is on friend duty, real friend duty. And, you know, for as much as Chanel might get on my nerves sometimes, I saw the side of Chanel I saw in this episode is like she was definitely a friend. You know, she was definitely a friend. You could tell that their relationship is genuine. Now, baby, come to find out, child, Lisa kept that damn goat, and she's actually, like, taking care of it, and like it's a pet. Like, she did. And what I find out is that Chanel always bringing gifts, because later on in the episode, she brings a gift to Brooks. I don't know if I want her gifts. She took an onion and a goat last week. This week, she taking lemons. I don't know if I really want a gift from Chanel. Like, Chanel, can you bring me something out your purse closet? That's the gift I want. One of your purses that you just don't carry no more. Give me that one. Because I know even if it's one you don't carry no more, it's one I'll take. But I don't want none of you. I don't want no goats. I don't want no poultry. I don't want no fruits. I don't want no vegetables. Chanel is a mess, y'all. Chanel is a mess. Anyway, so while that is going on, we have Caroline, the other Caroline child. Not Brooks, but the other one child. Caroline S. We have her and Sarah. They are having a staycation at the Atlantis. Now, I've seen pictures of the Atlantis. The Atlantis is the hotel where you actually like are underwater, like there's an aquarium around you, and you have, instead of windows, you have aquarium, and so they're staying in like the presidential suite, which is bigger than most people's houses, okay? And they're actually having a really, they're having like this staycation, and Caroline said, listen, she said, you know, Dubai is one of the best places to have a staycation. She said, because this is where everybody's coming. You know, everybody is trying to leave, you know, their where they live. And she said, for us, we're at the epicenter of where everybody's trying to be. We have some of the best hotels in the world. And so, you know, we want to just get away for a couple of days. Like, we can literally go in one of these hotels and be in a whole different world, which a la the Atlantis, right? So then we see Caroline and Sarah, hold on, is it Sarah? Child, you know, I'm still getting these people's names. I think it's Sarah. No, Sarah's the other one. No, Sarah's no, it's not Sarah. I'm gonna get the right name. Hold on, because it ain't Sarah. So later on, they get to talking about how they didn't really like each other. Remember they were talking about that last week. Chanel and Lisa were talking about that last week about how when did they become such close friends and how it's all fake because they used to talk shit about each other. But they had a really honest conversation and they were like, listen, we didn't like each other. Like, we really did not like each other. And, you know, once we gave each other a chance, we realized how much we do have in common and how much, you know, our personalities do click. So that's going to be very interesting because that's one of those situations where you can't spray me with my own tea because they both just sat there and admitted that they ain't like each other at one point. So then Caroline's daughter comes in, and Yasmin, and she's 15, and they get to talking about Caroline having another baby, and she was like, there's no universe that exists where I'm okay with that. And she said, well, Sergio's gonna want a child. She said Sergio was a child himself. I said, ooh. But later on in the episode, we see that they do seem to get along, but I think they get along because he's closer to their age. But anyway, so whatever. So then we go to lunch. We have Brooks at lunch with Chanel and Lisa. And I think Lisa brought Brooks and Chanel together so they could squash their beef and move on. And again, we find out that they do have a very hot and cold relationship. One minute, they're girlfriends, Kiki and Kakan, and the next minute, they fighting. And so she wants to know why Brooks called her and told her that she wasn't being invited to Caroline's party and why it was only for the important people. And Brooks was like, girl, they were like, well, did Caroline say that, yes or no? And she was like, no, Caroline did not say that. I said it. That was me. I thought it was funny. It was a joke. I didn't see what the big deal was. I'm sorry if it really upset you or really hurt your feelings. Like, it was me. I was being, you know, tongue in cheek. And Chanel was like, that's not funny. You know, I didn't appreciate it. Girl, my bad. This is where Chanel gave Brooks the whole pot full of lemons. Now, before Brooks got there, she told Lisa, I'm giving her the lemons because she's so bitter. But then when she got there, she said, well, I'm giving you the lemons because I want us to take these lemons and make lemonade. Chanel, you playing. So they end up, she apologizes and, you know, I guess they're going to move forward. But now they want to know why Carolyn didn't invite her and how that really hurt her feelings. And Chanel came up with a whole nother list of excuses about why it upset her. It upset her because she said she had stuff going on with her mom being sick and her husband was out of the country. And when she called her, it just bothered her because it was 7 o'clock in the morning and she thought something was wrong. And she said, I haven't even gotten up to pee yet. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. Why are you calling me with this nonsense? So somehow or another, by the end of that conversation, they act like Caroline owes Chanel an apology. And I'm like, what does she owe you an apology for? She didn't invite you to her party. Listen, that is the prerogative that she had. Whatever her reason is, whether it was because she was being shady, whether it was because it was a legitimate situation, whether it's because she don't like you. She doesn't owe you an apology for not inviting you to her party. In what universe does that exist? Girl, she didn't invite you because she didn't want you there. Period. Point blank. That is it. Child. So anyway, we get to know Sarah a little bit more. We know that Sarah is a single mom. She's actually from the UAE. But we found out that she ultimately, even though she's like a rebel with a cause, she is, you know, very conservative. But she's a conservative because she chooses to be, not because she's being made to be. She is in tech. She said she used to be a fashion designer and she did that for many years. But then she sold everything and she invested in tech. She said, and even though I'm doing well now, I think she said she's got like 11 different businesses and she speaks and she does all these different things for women in tech. She said, even though all of that looks great now, she said, I have failed a lot. She said, I've actually filed bankruptcy twice. You know, and so I'm doing it now, but at the end of the day, it was a hard road. It wasn't easy, and I didn't get here overnight. And we see that she's got tattoos and stuff, which, of course, that's sort of frowned upon. And she said, I find it interesting that the same people who frown upon me having tattoos will get their eyebrows tattooed. Like it's okay when it's cosmetic, but it's not okay for me because I'm enjoying because I just want a alien on my arm. So that was cool to get to know her. She was at a photo shoot, so it was cool to get to know her a little bit better. Then we had Caroline and Brooks went to a cosmetic, like a cosmetic enhancement, I guess, office. It wasn't like straight up plastic surgery, but it's like, where you can get the facials and you can do the little stomach thingy-mabob and the IVs and, all of that stuff. Well, Caroline is a brand ambassador for them. And so she was getting a facial and she had Brooks, come along with her. Brooks ended up getting the little thingy on her belly with, I guess it's supposed to, help slim the belly down. And while they're there, they have the conversation about she tells them what happened when she went to lunch with Chanel and Lisa. And she was like, yeah, they feel like you owe them an apology. Caroline was like, pigs will fly. Like, what do I owe them an apology for? I don't owe either one of them anything. Like, what are they talking about? Like, I'm not apologizing for anything. Because I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I didn't do anything to these ladies. Like, what am I apologizing for? But that was pretty much all they talked about there, child. So then we get to the actual fashion show. Because like I said, we have a whole thing with Caroline talking about how great her husband gets along with the kids and yada, yada, yada. Child, we don't care about that. So we get to the fashion show and, like I said, the fashion show went well. Backstage, it was chaos. But of course, up front, everything was, it looked nice. It went off well. And everybody seemed to like the collection. Everybody seemed to be impressed with the collection. And of course, Lisa is nervous because, like I told you guys before, like her husband is the CEO, and if it don't go well, like he may possibly pull out the funding, so she got to make it do what it do, yada, yada, yada. Now, Caroline S. doesn't come to the fashion show. Everybody else comes except for her. And, of course, Chanel is like, she didn't come because of me. I feel bad because she didn't come because of me. She didn't come because of our conflict. So I feel so bad that she didn't come to your fashion show. Oh my gosh, why did she do that? Now, she gave the excuse that she had too much going on with getting ready for her wedding. But really, she didn't come because she was like, I don't have time for the energy. Like, I don't want the energy. I don't want the mess. Like, I don't have time for that. So her husband was impressed. He thought the fashion show went really well. And he said he was, kind of ear hustling around the room. And everybody was, saying nice things. And, like, it went, that everything was good. So that's a positive thing. And, again, what we found out is that she really is a big deal in, Milan. Like, I mean, not Milan. In Dubai. Like, Chanel is her main model. Her company is a very viable company. We talk about a lot on these reality shows that sometimes these women create these companies for the purposes of the show, and we never really see real products, or the business never really lasts that long. But this is an already established business that she definitely is putting work into. And it was cool. I mean, I feel like this episode was setting us up for the next stuff, because we see this whole thing with Caroline and Chanel brewing. So I feel like, and I think they're going to try to make a big deal about Caroline and the other chick. So we definitely see it brewing. But it wasn't really a whole lot with this episode. But congratulations to Lisa. That was great on her fashion show. Bravo. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.